But again, let's shift to the court. The championship trophy is in Boston as the series shifts back to TD Garden with a chance for the visiting Warriors to clinch their 4th championship in 8 years. Dubs split the first 2 games at a pretty hostile TD Garden, and Steph Curry has not forgotten how the fans treated them there. Listen in.
I'm the petty king, so I know all about everything, and I use it as entertainment and just have fun with it, because the more you're on the stage, the more you realize the attention that's on you, how much it means to each fan base, how much it means to the cities. There's a lot at stake when it comes to winning championships.
Great being back home. You know, it's the last home game of the season. Looking forward to being in front of the crowd, you know, knowing that they're going to be behind us and giving us that extra boost of energy, as they have my whole career. You know, it's going to be extremely loud in here. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere.
It is very hard to close out a series, and this is a very good team, and we know they're going to play with a sense of desperation. So for us to match that or exceed that, it's going to take the most effort we've had to give all year.
All the motivation in the world. Game 6 on our home floor in front of our fans. Last game in TD Garden. Nothing more needs to be said.
Oh, the Petty Kings, a man after my own heart. Let's now bring in our reporters, Windhorst, Kendra Andrews from Boston. I'll start with you, Wendy. What are the Celtics focusing on with this elimination game?
Well, they've got their backs against the wall, and their message to each other at their meeting before practice today was back off the officiating. Team-wide, they feel like they've been focusing too much on the officiating. That includes head coach Ime Udoka, who got teed up during Game 5. They feel it's led to distraction at the offensive end of the court, which is really where they're losing this series, in their opinion. It's part of an overall issue at the offensive end where they're losing focus. They're dribbling into crowds. They've got poor spacing. They're making poor decisions with passes. It's leading to turnovers that are undercutting them. And so that's a big thing that they're focusing on as they get into an elimination Game 6. Back off the officials, focus on your own business.
Again, the good news, though, when it comes to these Celtics is they have really, really excelled, right, with their backs against the wall. They're 3-0 alone in elimination games this postseason. On the other side, Kendra, there was a lot of talk earlier in this series about Game 6 Klay after he was struggling early on in this series. So, Kendra, what is Klay saying about trying to replicate his Game 6 success once again?
Yeah, well, Klay is fully aware that he is a little streak going with Game 6, and he doesn't know how long that's going to last, but he hopes at least until tomorrow. But he says he's not going to do anything special to try and manifest a big performance. He said instead it's just about going out there, having fun, and trusting his teammates. You know, the Warriors say we don't know what it is about Klay and Game 6s, but Stephen Curry said no moment is too big for him when it comes to hooping, whether that's welcoming in a hostile crowd, feeding off of a home one. And Steph said, I may be trying to bounce back from my poor shooting night, but I promise I will not do anything to infringe on the Game 6 Klay namesake. But Klay might not mind that. He said, one thing I will not do is go play hero ball. Winning is the most important thing.
We saw that conversation with Malika Andrews before Game 5. We just talked about letting the game come to him. It certainly came to him in his only Game 6 of the postseason. He had 8 3-pointers, putting up 30 to help close out the Grizzlies. Kendra and Wendy joining us from Boston ahead of that closeout Game 6.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.